Good morning, class 5. So, today we'll start with a new chapter from page number 72, and the chapter name is Habitat and Adaptation. So, let's begin with that. Different animals live in different places. Write the names of the animal and where it is found to complete the table below from the word box. So, they have uh, given name of the animal and where it is found. So, the first one is camel. Name of the animal is camel, and where it is found? It is found on the desert. Then number 2, name of animal is shark, which is found uh, inside the ocean. Then we have name of the animal is polar bear, which is found in the Arctic. Then name of the animal is tiger, which is found in the forest. So, what is a habitat? An area where a particular animal naturally lives is called its habitat. Okay, an animal's habitat provides it with air, water, food, and shelter. So basically, when animal gets all of these air, water, and food and shelter, that place, that area becomes their habitat. Okay, and the home of the animals is found within its habitat. So basically the animal lives there when they found these. So for example, lion's home is a den and the forest is its habitat. So the lion lives in a den, but the forest is its habitat because the air, water, food, and shelter he gets from the forest only. So that's why the habitat is the area of particular animal that animal naturally lives in that area. So there are different types of habitat on earth. So some of the examples are forest, desert, polar regions, and mountains, oceans, and fresh water like river, lakes, and ponds. So there are different types of habitat, and depending upon that, the different animals live on that habitat. So moving on. So the first habitat we have is forest. A forest is a large area that is covered with trees and plants. As we all know, the forest is an area where all the trees and bushes and all, it's covered with all it. And forest provides shelter to the variety of animals. That is true. And animals such as lion, tigers, bears, and bat lives in the forest caves. So they their habitat uh, is in the forest. Okay, and many forest animals live on trees. Example, monkeys and different types of birds. Several types of insects live on the forest floor. Moles, snakes, earthworms, rats live inside burrow under the ground. So under this habitat forest, there are many living animals dependent on the forest. Okay, and we can also uh, able to know that there are, apart from these, there are insects and other animals who live inside the burrow and under the ground as well. Okay, next we have, so the next habitat we have is desert. A desert is a dry, often sandy region that receives very little rainfall, which means it is very hard to find water in there. Okay, it is usually very hot during the day and cold during the night. Okay, water is hard to find in the desert, as obvious, right? So camels, rattlesnake and ground squirrel are the found in the desert. So these are some of the animals which can be seen in the desert areas. Okay, after that we have next habitat, polar regions and mountains. So the earth's polar regions, Arctic, Antarctica and Arctic and high mountains are extremely cold and covered with snow. And some of the animals like polar bear, seals and walrus are found in the polar regions. So these are some of the animals which can be seen at the polar region, and whereas yaks and mountain goats are found in the mountains. So yaks and the animal goats are the some of the animals which can be found in the mountains area. Moving on. So the next habitat we have is ocean. So ocean is the large continuous body of salt water that covers two-thirds of the Earth's surface. So Earth is the large continuous body of salt water, and that covers the two-thirds of Earth's surface. So most of the uh, space has been covered with the water on the Earth. It is the world's largest habitat. Okay, it is divided into the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean and Southern Ocean. So basically they have divided into four oceans. Sorry, five oceans, okay, which are Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic and Southern Ocean. And a large variety of fish are found in the oceans that we all know. So some of the animals that live inside these ocean are whales, turtles, octopus and jellyfish are also found here. And there are many more other which they have not mentioned here. Okay, so but you might have seen in some of the channels like Discovery Channel, you could have discovered many animals that could live under the ocean. Moving on. And then the next habitat we have is rivers, sorry, fresh waters. Okay, river, lakes, ponds are examples of freshwater habitats. Some animals can live only in water, example fish and shrimps. Some animals can live both on land and water, examples amphibians such as frogs, salamanders and reptiles such as alligators. So there are different animals who can live under and outside the water. And moving on. So the next we have is let's remember. So first question is name the habitat shown here. As you can see in your textbook there is a picture of a desert. So you have to write desert here. And then question number 2, which of these is not true about this place? So option D, a variety of plants are found here, is not correct about this place. Okay, they found places like desert can be some of the plants which can be found in the desert can be like cactus, bushes. There are many more others, so but not the variety of plants can be found there, so it's not true. And question number 3, name 3 animals commonly found here. So you have to write so I have written here camel, rattlesnake, ground squirrel, and there are others also. They can be scorpions, crabs and many more. Okay, so moving on with the next topic. So the next topic we have is adaptation. So what is adaptation? changes in the feature of our behavior or of an organism that help it to survive in its habitat is called adaptation. So it is a feature or a behavior of an organism that help to it to survive in its habitat is called adaptation. So basically it is the uh, adaptation basically means improvising or overcoming those hurdles that came across your way and overcoming that challenges. We can adapt and overcome whatever the challenges we are facing. So but in here it means feature or a behavior that helps the animals to survive in that habitat. The different types of animals shows different types of habitation. It may be either their body covering, their organs for breathing, their ways of movement, and their eating habits. So it can be anything for them. It can be body coverings. The outer part of the body is covered with such that they can adapt to any weather or any climate, and their organs for breathing. So some of the animals have been gifted with such ability to that the organs have been designed such that they can breathe, okay, in different ways. Okay, they are being designed in differently, their ways of movement. Okay, it also matters in adapting the nature or their eating habits. Based on their food, they can adapt in any weather or climate. So body covering. What is body covering? An animal's body covering helps it to live in a particular habitat. Body coverings of animals are shown in the figure below. So as you can see in your textbook, they have mentioned some of the animals whose body covering helps them to live in that particular habitat. Okay, so the body of bird are covered with feathers which help them to keep them warm. So feathers are helpful for birds to keep them warm, and the body covering of the bear is with full of fur, which also helps them to keep warm. Okay, then crocodiles has a thick plate like scales. So what is scale? We will come up we're gonna come across that topic. So by the time you have to just remember that crocodile has a thick plate like scales. Okay, then we have beetles have a hard outer covering called cuticle that protects the soft body. So even the insects having a insects like beetles have a hard outer covering which also protects his soft body. Then we have a fish. Body of fish is covered with scales, same as like crocodile, like they have also scales. Then tortoise and snail have shell to protect their soft and delicate bodies. So even turtles have scales. Sorry, they have tortoise and snail. Snail they have not mentioned here, but the picture of tortoise has given tortoise and snail have this shell to protect their soft and delicate bodies. So this is how they protect their body by outer covering of some kind of fur, feather, snail, whether it is uh, scales. Moving on. So the first body covering we have is scales. Fish are covered with the layers of flexible overlapping scales. You might have noticed the fish outer cover is kind of overlap flexible, and its overlapping scale which is placed one on the another. The bodies of reptiles such as snakes, crocodiles, and lizards too are covered with scales. Even they are also covered with scales like fish. Most reptiles have horny scales that prevent loss of water from their bodies. So snakes also shed their skin periodically, which is replaced by new ones. You might have noticed this one. If you are if you are aware of the Discovery Channel, you can see these kind of periodic the skin changes of periodically by snakes, which is replaced by new one. So shedding of new skin to acquire a new one is called molting. That you have to underline that thing, okay? And then after that we have shells. So shells are found normally in the uh, uh, animals like tortoise, snails, okay? And when these animals sense danger, they withdraw their head and fit into the shell. So whenever they sense some kind of danger, they will immediately uh, withdraw their head in and fit into the shell. So isn't that amazing? Moving on. So the next body covering we have is wool or fur. Mammals such as sheep and bear have special body coverings. A sheep body is covered with wool and bear body is covered with fur. This covering protect them from rain and cold. So after this, feathers. Birds have feathers as their body covering wings are covered with feathers that helps them to fly. They also protect birds from rain and cold. So these are some of the body coverings which we came across, which we also have seen somewhere. So after this we have next topic. So the next topic we have is camouflage. Body covering of some animals match their surroundings. This mechanism is called camouflage. It makes animal hard to spot on protects. Uh, it makes animal hard to spot and protect it from enemies. Some animals, example chameleon, can even change their body color to match the surroundings. So it is actually a uh, camouflage is actually a or you can uh, it's kind of process, but it's actually a mechanism, okay, working mechanism of skin of that animal, which changes its color that matches with the surroundings, and it is very hard to spot and hard to see whether that animals is there or not. So next we have is, let's remember question. Circle the odd one out in each of the following. Give one reason for your choice based on their body covering. So the first one is fish, crocodile, insect, snake. We have to find out the odd one. So insect is the odd one, and we have to give reason for that also. So in reason you have to write fish, crocodile, and snakes have scales covering their bodies, but insect doesn't always have scales. Okay. Question 2. Feather, cuticle, fur, or wool. You have to find out the odd one, which is cuticle, and the reason for that will be feather, fur, and wool keep the body warm. but cuticle does not. So after that, question 3, snake, crocodile, lizard and turtle. So turtle is the odd one. Why? We have to give reason. Snake, crocodile and turtle, sorry, snake, crocodile and lizards have body covered with scale, but turtle have shells as body covering. Okay, so that's all for now. We're gonna do our remaining topics in the next class, which is organs for breathing in the next class. Thank you.